Sponsored by the Big 98, Nashville's #1 for new country and the home of the Bobby Bones Show.
We're so thrilled to have on an incredible country music, gospel, bluegrass, you name it, duo, Wilson Fairchild. Once again, I've got Langdon and Wil on the show. Guys, it's great to have you in.
It's great to be here.
Thanks for not locking the door on us this Saturday.
Locking the door, it's like I've listened to your music for years. And once again, we'll talk about it more, but you guys are incredible songwriters besides, great singers and guitarists and everything. But your new album, which is also available on DVD, Statler Made, I got to tell you, I think this is the best stuff you guys have done.
Great.
Well, thank you so much.
And we do too, to be honest with you.
Well, and I think also, I got to tell you, the charts do too.
Yes.
Because you guys have done well on Billboard and so many of the charts. I mean, just going out there, and it just came out in February. And wow.
Well, we knew that there were 10 people that knew about our career before this record. We had no idea one of them was you.
Yes.
Yeah.
I was the 11th
What's the
person.
chance? What's
No,
the
you weren't the
chance?
11th. You were part of the 10.
You're part of the 10.
Let's not get crazy.
What
here.
a chance that we would meet you.
Yeah, but
This
it's
is
like,
great.
but I don't know how people wouldn't know you. Particularly, once again, I got to share to where you guys toured and opened for George Jones for like 3 or 4 years.
We did.
That had to be a little pressure.
We did.
That was an education
And an honor.
and a dream.
Yes.
All those words. All those.
So back to country music stories. You're going to love the backstory to that.
Oh yeah.
So
It's an era like this.
No, and this is the truth. So, and we'll get to our other musical heritage here in a little bit. But us being from Stanton, Virginia, before we met Mr. Jones, he was going to do a concert close to our home.
Yeah.
And I called Langdon. I was like, George Jones, he's still out there touring. We'd never seen him before. He said, that'd be great. I'd like to go see him too, but wouldn't it be fun if we could open the show? And I was like, yeah. He's like, how do we do that? I said, let me find out. So we literally picked up the phone. I found out who the promoter was, called, said, y'all got George Jones coming? The guy said, yeah. I said, hey, we're Wilson Fairchild, and we want to open that show.
Right.
And the guy said, okay, I'll let you open the show, but I'm not going to pay you. And we said, fine.
Right.
No worries. Not that far. We'll go. So we did. We got to open up for George Jones' show, see that, classic country music that he was still doing. And it was so much fun. And so after the show, we didn't get to meet him that time. After the show, I went home, got on the computer, and found out he was going to be in Pennsylvania the next weekend.
Yeah.
Picked up the phone, found that promoter, and said, hey, we're on tour with George Jones. What time do we open up? The guy says, true story,
He says,
I don't care if you open the show, but I'm not going to pay you. And we went.
Yeah.
We took our band, went to Pennsylvania. That time it worked.
Why does this feel like an Eric Church story? Where you guys are like following in a van.
It's so true.
Yes.
So that time we got to meet George and Nancy and the band and said, listen, we would love to open up any shows y'all let us open up. And we did for those 3 or 4 years.
Yeah.
We rode around in Langdon's truck and did it as an acoustic.
Right.
With 2 guitars and he and I, and we'd show up and we got to do, 40 minutes on the front of his show, and it was a blast.
But what a life experience. And also, I mean, and so many people know you guys and from your traditional country, but what a way to get the name out and also the music that you do. And besides, I mean, George might have known that you guys were related to the Statler Brothers also. Maybe a little cachet.
Maybe.
Yeah.
But unlike the fans thinking, oh, they're sons of the Statler Brothers, of course they know George Jones. It doesn't work that way.
It doesn't. No,
We have met some great famous people through our dads, but it doesn't work that way when it comes to business.
Right. Oh, yeah, especially in the music industry. I mean, you guys have to prove yourself. Once again, on the new album, and I've been listening to this whole album, and I just love every song on here. Tough to pick my favorite ones, but it's like, the classic 57, and we were talking about Flowers on the Wall. But also, I mean, with the gospel songs, He Leadeth Me, it's just the soul and the harmonies. You guys just keep sounding better. And also, you guys recorded this at Treasure Island, right?
Yes, we did.
Yes. The cool thing about this, and our producers, Johnny Minnick and Michael Sykes, are so instrumental. Pun intended, I guess.
Right, pun intended.
In this project. They're great to work with, and the freedom that they gave us to bring who we are to this project.
Right.
To be honest with you, this CD it's very representative of us musically and our shows.
Right.
We do, we love classic country, traditional country.
Totally.
I mean, we've been doing George Jones and Johnny Cash in our shows for years. Of course, we've been doing Statler Brothers music got to do that. We always tribute them and tip our hats to them in our shows. And gospel, we grew up in church, still go to church, the same one we grew up in, and so all this is this music is dear to us and who we are.
The only thing I was wondering about though too, Langdon, is like, could you not find like a big guitarist to be on this?
I
mean,
you
had to settle.
At
we
the
did.
last
We settled
minute, we had to settle.
For Brent Mason.
Yeah.
But we worked with him. We showed him a few chords.
Right.
Brent, this is an open G.
By lunch, he was picking up on it.
I hope it works out for Brent. I really do. It's like, I mean, come on, you guys had the top session guitarist in Nashville.
Yes. Oh yes, and I'm sure you're like us and came up at the same time, and we've been Brent Mason nuts for our whole lives.
Yes.
Since the 80s and the 90s. Just loved everything he ever played.
And then when Hot Wired came out.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
My
It changed our life.
Yes.
We couldn't play it, but we could listen to it.
Yeah. And that's any time with Brent.
Yeah.
It's like, I look at his hands, it's like going, okay, I get what you're doing in theory.
Yeah.
I see that you're actually doing it, but
didn't know it was humanly possible.
Right. I own similar guitars like you that have wood and strings, but I don't sound anything like that when I play them.
Yeah.
And the guys that ended up on our session, some of them we didn't know, but Gordon Mote, he was the leader, and we wanted him so bad.
Right.
But we fell in love with all those guys that were on this project. That if we get the chance to go back in the studio again, we want all the same pieces.
Right.
Because we're
putting that team together again.
Well, and I got to tell you both. I mean, with the sounds on this, what you guys do so well, and certainly no problem with the nod to classic country and gospel and bluegrass and everything, but you guys bring a fresh perspective to it. I think with your voices and with the musicianship and everything else, it makes it new and fresh. It's not just, trying to do a tribute. You know what I mean?
Oh, that's nice. I think that one important word that we wanted to make sure that we approached and accomplished with this is energy.
Right.
And whether
it's high energy,
Yes.
If you look at my notes when I'm listening to the album, it's like going high energy, upbeat, very positive. It's like going okay,
And that was a huge approach. And when we went to Gaither Music Group and we decided to do this record, and they agreed.
Right.
That's always been me and Langdon's battle, especially with our dad's music. Is for years, of course, as an artist, we try to separate ourselves, try to establish what we're doing. This is how we sing. But the great thing was, over the last 10 years, the fans saw our dads through us.
Right.
And that's been the greatest compliment about this record. Nobody has accused us of doing something we shouldn't have done.
Right.
We realized that it's 2024, that we might reach people with this music that never heard it the first time.
Exactly, like we were talking about our teenagers, to where it's like going, and they're going, hey, who played this? It's like going, and they have no idea. Because they don't have the liner notes, they don't have the CDs and albums that we grew up with.
And do you know that happened to me and Langdon when we were growing up, listening to the Statler Brothers recordings before, when we were just kids, really little?
Yeah.
And we didn't realize they were singing people's hits from 20 years before that.
Exactly.
We went through that era.
No,
we were hearing them sing Delta Dawn for the first time. Like, that's a great Statler Brothers song.
Where'd that come from?
Tanya, who?
and I've got to brag on you guys, because you won't, but it's like you're also very accomplished songwriters. And so the Statler Brothers have recorded your songs. Also, Ricky Skaggs and a little duo. Once again, I'm hoping these guys make it because they're so cute and funny. The Dailey and Vincent.
Oh, yeah.
If that TV show takes off for them.
They might have something.
They might do it. Hang in there, guys.
They can sing. I know they sing high and they can tune instruments. I do know that about them. I've heard that.
Check those boxes.
Yeah. But I mean,
Great
you guys
guys.
have had songs recorded by all of these other artists. And now, particularly with an album doing so well as Statler Made, I know you're going to be working on more music, doing original music and stuff, and bringing things in that you've written. How do you choose that? How do you choose which songs you're going to record next and work on next?
It is a process.
Yes.
One we take serious, one we enjoy.
Very serious. Very serious.
Very serious. There's no smiling in this.
No, that's a
Wipe
serious.
that smile off your face.
That's a
Wil.
serious process.
So, but we do. We keep the dialogue open, transparent with Paul Sizlove over at Gaither,
right?
With Michael and Johnny and our group of do we have advisors?
We have it all. We have a team.
We got people, Eric.
We
We got people.
We start with a list this big.
We do. That's the truth.
Of things that we know we can do, and then once it gets narrowed down, we're good with it.
Well, I got to tell you too, to be with Gaither right now, what an incredible time. You talk about a group that is shaking up the world. And like we were talking too before we came to the studio, not just with Christian and gospel music, but with all music.
Yes.
Yeah.
You know, you guys are with them at a prime time.
Yes.
I've got to ask you this because, I mean, a lot of people are going to want to know, Wilson Fairchild, because I thought, you know, maybe, you know, I get the Wil from Wil, and then I thought, well, you know, maybe Langdon was a cute kid, so he was a Fairchild. Where did you guys come up with this name?
Yeah, it was got that, but it wasn't that at all. Absolutely, no. So, so I won't even mention our first band name. I don't even want to talk about it.
No,
we
we're
had a
not
band
gonna talk
name.
about that.
I'm not going to talk about it.
But we were I know
another
it, 'cause
name.
I went digging.
I don't want to talk about it.
So
There's
you-
music out there.
Okay, so I won't bring it up.
Good
But,
music.
and it was an independent record deal, and we were trying. We were doing some good stuff, but it just didn't work. But the worst part about the first name is nobody ever could say it right, like on the phone, like trying to book a date, and it was like, what are we doing here, right?
Yeah. So we're not even going to talk about
I'm
Grand
not
Staff.
talking. We're not talking about it.
I didn't say even
I heard nothing.
So we changed our name to a more duo-sounding name before we did the George Jones era of those shows.
Right.
And we chose Wilson Fairchild because that's our middle names.
Ah.
There you go. Will gets
So-
his middle name is Wilson.
So
That's where Will
again,
comes from,
you know,
Fairchild.
Langdon and I, maybe this is the kiss of death. Langdon and I always take the creative route. You know, we thought it sounded good, it was creative. People did and do refer to us as the Reid Boys, but it sounded too bluegrass to us, so
Yeah.
we didn't go with the Reid
Right.
Boys. You can call us whatever you want to.
Yeah.
You have
Whatever.
called
I
us.
don't-
Yeah, just buy
A
the
lot of
album
names.
and the DVD.
And right, but the Wilson Fairchild, which we think we're finally establishing.
Yeah,
Right.
we've already got stationery, but you know,
the
so
other-
it's official.
Yeah, it's like a
The
brand of
other-
clothes now.
The other part was if the music thing didn't work, we're going to open up a law firm.
Which would work.
Wilson
Wouldn't that sound good?
Fairchild. All we got to do is add Esquire
Oh, yeah.
or Associates.
Holy-
Or some initials, something, I don't know,
Holy.
PLC or
Yeah.
Right. I mean, we're not lawyers, but
TMJ
we're, you know,
or
it's still on
something.
the
This could be like
docket.
Abercrombie and Fitch. I
Yeah.
mean, you know, just same thing.
Yeah, back to the worry of the royalty statements you were talking about. You know, that was our fear. You know, if it doesn't, we don't want to go down in flames. We'll open up a law firm.
We will.
Well, you know, it's always fun too, you know, seeing you guys perform live and watching this. And I want to come see you live when you're playing here in Nashville again too.
We'd
Once
love
again,
for
you've
you
been
to.
on the Opry, but you know, you guys are also very good guitarists. And I mean, you know, you're playing the Taylor guitars. Certainly, Wil, you've always got a Telecaster with you,
Right.
and a new Taylor now. It's like, so any
Yeah.
favorite instruments that you guys played on this new album or will be out on the road with this year?
Instrument-wise?
For sure on the road.
I mean, besides
yeah.
you know the family collectible ones that stay at home,
That's right, that's right.
yeah.
Yes.
the mega money guitars.
We do have a few collectibles in,
Yes.
in our library. But no, as you said, we play everything in our live shows. Will does all the lead stuff. I do the rhythm. And so we've always taken care of the guitar parts. Again, when you go into the studio, these guys are so good at what they do and creating on the spot.
Yeah.
But again, back to the cool part about that is, again, us growing up loving the guitars, and we were talking about Jerry Reed, what a huge influence he and Chet, all those guys were to us.
Oh my gosh,
And then
yes.
moving into the Brent Mason area.
That's right.
So anyway, but while we were recording, it was so cool. We went out and got coffee in the studio in Treasure Island.
They let us have free coffee.
They did.
Wow.
That was part of the
They
deal.
never let me have
I mean,
coffee.
we're not.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not bragging, but
Just saying that's what
it was our thing, right?
So we got there, and there's this huge, like two huge rolling anvil cases, and it says on there Brent Mason's guitars, and it's just loaded
Yeah.
with his stuff. So I mean,
I started putting them in my vehicle, and Langdon's like, "What are you doing?" I was like,
I think we got to ask.
I thought he brought these to us.
Yeah, just
Yeah.
like
I thought
parting
those were
gifts.
gifts.
He didn't.
Right.
No, he
he
didn't.
didn't.
No,
He
after,
didn't.
after
So anyway,
security.
so
put him
Brent's
back
got a
in the-
restraining order on
Yeah.
us and stuff. It's a lot of fun.
But the record's good.
It's good. He
Right.
did great.
It's incredible.
Oh,
and I
thanks.
got to ask you too, you know, more singles coming out. Obviously, it's doing incredible on the charts. You know, the album and the singles and everything. More music videos coming out too?
Yes.
Yes,
There will be.
And the fun part about this DVD is we went in and recorded this video live, all 12 songs, and then sat down with Bill Cody. And
He did the
interviewed us.
interview.
Legend.
And we talked with him about the stories behind these songs, why we came up with them, that
Right.
process, and again, growing up, seeing the Statler Brothers music from our perspective.
Right.
So that was a lot of fun. To sit down
And what,
with him.
you know, what historical, you know, for you guys, they were, you know, your family. But I mean, for the rest of us, the Statler Brothers music, I mean, just timeless.
Yes.
You know, and to be a part of that, I mean, it's like, you know, I mean, just wow.
Well, and that's what we realized. All the years, Langdon and I have done what all artists have done. We came to Nashville a lot in the early part of our career.
Right.
Writing with writers, trying to build relationships with other people, be a part. We went in Music Row and tried to get a record label when we were much younger than we are now. And there was always something wrong, either with the song or the timing, and actually.
band name.
Or the band name. That was our fault.
Or the people. Let's blame them too.
Yeah, and so, over the last 20 years, the industry was always going in a different direction than we were, but we finally realized it's okay, we're really traditional, and now in this age, it's like it's opened up again.
Right.
That it's okay that there's room for all of it.
Well, and I tell you what, listening to the album too, are you guys going to put it out on vinyl? Is Gaither going to put it out on vinyl? What's the talk?
I don't know.
I don't know. That's not our call, but are you making that plea right now?
I'm just saying, I think that the album, and the songs and certainly the harmonies and everything you guys bring to this, and also Brent's little guitar playing and all that, it lends itself to vinyl. Just for that experience, and also the liner notes, the lyrics.
Yeah.
I mean, everything. It's worth consideration.
So it may, and actually, we've got a huge announcement that I don't think we got cleared to make, but let's just say this: somebody just picked up the CD, and it's gonna be in a store by the first part of April.
Wow.
Yeah.
And a lot of stores.
Yeah.
Wow.
I mean, I don't know. I mean, if you're like going somewhere and
if you're gonna go somewhere and eat and then maybe
breakfast or
buy something
Wow.
before you leave.
Maybe
browsing
some
around
briskets
while you're
and
waiting.
gravy.
Yeah, maybe.
Don't Dailey and Vincent own part of the? Never mind. I used to see a lot of their stuff.
their name was Cracker and Barrel.
Right. But anyway, yeah.
I just mention them when I go and I get an extra biscuit.
Oh, that's great.
It's like going, Dailey
Yeah.
and Vincent.
We mention them and then we get thrown out.
Yeah.
I know that's weird.
So,
Anyway, things are happening.
It's going to get some exposure. I know in April also, after people get to see us here.
Right.
The DVD TV special is going to air again on all the Christian networks.
Wow.
So
That's me right there, Eric.
That's
Yeah,
me.
I know. You
That's
guys-
me right there.
You guys look so relaxed. I mean, it's just amazing. Although, also, I like the back shots too, which we'll show that in a better picture.
Okay.
But I mean, I want to make sure, with the big tour too, I know you guys are going to be out on the road a bunch, and obviously back at the Opry also, and hopefully more places in Nashville, all over the country. Where should our viewers go for websites, social media, everything, and to get signed copies of the CD and DVD? Where should they go?
Well, we are currently, again, still always booking, always wanting to come and play our live music for you. So WilsonFairchild.com is where
Is our home.
That's our home.
Yep.
And you can also, again, buy the DVD, the CD there. And
If you want a signed copy, you got to order it through us.
through us,
Yeah.
or the Statler
Or the
Brothers.
StatlerBrothers.com.
Either one
Yeah.
of those. Yeah, we're trying to help those guys out.
Yeah, they can use it.
They can.
But also it's available everywhere, whether it's Amazon, whether it's Gaither.com. The other thing is, if you don't do DVDs anymore and you want to stream this, Gaither TV Plus, they have their own app.
Yeah.
Incredible.
And you can watch everything that they've ever done. It's really pretty cool.
With you've got Wil and Langdon and Bill Cody on the DVD.
That's right.
Yes.
So that's like a trifecta.
Yes.
Well, I'll tell you what, however you consume music, I got to tell you, this album is going to keep doing big things. If you stream, if you want the CD, when the vinyl comes out, you heard it here first, and also the DVD, this is amazing. Statler Made. You're going to enjoy these guys. Go see them live, though. They're incredible artists.
Thank you.
Wil Langdon Reid, the Wilson Fairchild, not just the Wilson
I
Fairchild.
like the.
That's fine.
We can go with it.
Wilson, then you can use the Esquire if you want to.
And it's still better than the last band.
Thank you.
I want to thank Wil and Langdon. Thank you so much for coming on the show.
the man.
It was our pleasure, man. Great to
appreciate
meet you.
Get the music. Statler Made.
Sponsored by the Big 98, Nashville's #1 for new country and the home of a Bobby Bones Show.